get here across the bay from Cal, but more than that, he's coming on the Stanford campus. But he's had a lot of luck here, from what I understand, and many of his 21 NCAA titles were won here on this campus. His coaching lives up to the PCA model, which uses some, and we even use some of his quotations in our workshops. He helps his own players, even at the collegiate level, pursue their ideals of being a triple impact competitor. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Cal's rugby coach, Jack Clark.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello. It's my pleasure to be here. That's what the speaker always says first. It's my pleasure to be here. It really is. I get to work on a daily basis with these amazing young men I coach at Cal, the sport of rugby. And it is such a great pleasure. Matter of fact, we won a national championship in May, right out here on the Stanford campus. It was fantastic. I actually really enjoy coming here. You know, it was funny. The athletes in this room will appreciate that. Rugby field's a big field. It's 65 meters across and 100 meters long. And this particular final game against Brigham Young University, an extraordinary collegiate rugby team, was as fiercely contested as any athletic event I've ever been involved with in my almost 30 years now in coaching. I mean, every possession, every meter of the field. And as I was watching it unfold, one side of my brain was saying, this is good for us, you know, we've been training for this, we're fit, we're mentally prepared for this, and I like how this game's playing out, this favors us. And of course, I'm from the McAfee clan, so on the other side of my brain, there's this dark cloud over me at all times. And I was saying, I don't know how we're holding on. I don't know how they're doing this. And of course, there's a final whistle, and we're the national champions. And by the time I get out to them on this big paddock of grass they call a rugby field, and after a bit of jumping around and excitement in this winning of the national championship, I see their faces really close for the first time. And they're hollow. They're sunken in. And they have these dark circles under their eyes, which have hollowed out. And although it's a beautiful evening and it's warm, not too long after this game, people start to get chills. They're cold. They cry. A lot of them are crying. Not just tears of joy because we won. I mean, I think that as an athlete, you plan out what you're going to do when you win these moments, you know, and I don't think any of them plan to cry. The fact is, they had given too much of themselves. They had given everything they had. In sport, we call it giving full measure. And all their defenses were gone. That's why they looked like they had put so much into it. That's why they had the chills, and that's why they were shedding tears. A few days later at the banquet, I shared with them that because you went through that passage, because you gave everything you had, it had nothing to do with that shiny trophy they gave us at the end, but because you went through that passage as a young person, athletically, you got the gift. That is the gift of sport. That's what it is. And that gift you can build a life on. It can become one of those cornerstones of your life that informs just about everything you do. So, pleased to be around athletes. When I'm not around athletes, I get a chance to work in the business school at Cal in my power zone around organizational behaviors. I get to talk about team. And when I'm not with those students, I get to be in rooms like this with these kind of athletes, triple impact competitors. My neighbor, who's a very successful guy, but hates his job. Hates to go to work every day. They pay him a load of money and everything. He says, "What do you like so much about your job?" And I says, "Don't you understand? I mean, I'm around these students I coach, and I'm around these other students in the business school, and when I'm not around them, I'm in rooms like this, and everybody in my life is ascending. No one is descending. No one is settled. No one says, I've had enough. I'm good. Everyone wants more. Everyone in my life wants more. And they want more success for their friends and their teammates. They want more personal success. They want more responsibility. They want to be accountable to more things. They, of course, want more respect, and they want more love, and they just want more. And I get up in the mornings, and I slap my hands together, and I cannot wait to get on campus. So when I say I'm pleased to be in this room, I really mean it. Okay, so triple impact in this room. I think not. I'm sorry. I'm an evidence-based coach. Everything I do is informed with some form of applied science. I like numbers. I like notational analysis. I really love statistics. And I can't get my head around triple times 50. That sounds like more than triple to me. As a matter of fact, if you just follow me on this for a second, if you take into account that each one of these young people in the room impacts their entire team, and some of them play on multiple teams, and they likewise impact the opposition, all this opposition that they compete against. And I think that the parents and family and friends in the room would agree that they impact us when we watch them play. And I'm afraid that doesn't add up to 3. I'm afraid that adds up to tens upon tens of thousands of really positive impact. The young people in this room are changing how people think about sport and where it fits in. I often get asked, why coaching? Why did I decide that this was going to be my profession? And I can share with you here at breakfast that I remember the exact moment. I was an undergraduate student at this super, super elite school across the bay. And I was in total awe as a young undergraduate student athlete. It was such, an elite academic environment. There was Nobel Prize winning professors, teaching undergraduate classes. The fellow students, every time they opened their mouth, they sounded so much smarter than me. I was convinced after about a few days that I was the dumbest kid on that campus. And if any of my friends were here, they'd say, Jack, you were the dumbest kid on that campus. And then I can remember the first day of football practice. And my coach, who was a dear mentor of mine, and I'm so happy I have a relationship with him to this day, he looks at us and he says, all right, you boys here, I want you to pair up in 3s. And you guys here, I want you to line up in a circle. And it hit me. It was like one of those eureka moments. I said, if you can give those kind of instructions and people actually hustle to do it, I said coaching was going to be my profession. Okay, who knows anything at all about rugby in the room? Who knows nothing at all about rugby? Who's not going to raise their hand no matter what I ask? We're not going to speak about rugby. I don't have any message for you about rugby or about your sport, as a matter of fact. What I'd like to do is just, if you would allow me, is just speak about team. It's interesting. If you follow the great social scientists, the people who really can explain life. They'll tell you that to be an expert in something, it takes 10 years or 10,000 hours. And just as a reminder that these honorees here this morning, some of them have hit that threshold. Some of them will soon hit it. They are about to become experts in what I think is the most important thing you could possibly be an expert in: team. Now, you've got to follow this, I guess my worldview on this, which is that I reckon that it will be groups of people that will bind together with the commonality of interest, point their nose all in the same direction, and that will solve these diseases that fester away at mankind, that will deal with world hunger, that will solve inter-school educational issues. See, it's not going to be a person. It's going to be teams of people. So, how important are these people in the room right now when you consider that the most important thing to get us out of where we are to where we want to be, how important is the knowledge of team and being an expert in team? And if you ask them, you can ask them in the car on the way home, what's your best team? They'll tell you. They'll tell you their favorite team they've ever been on, and they'll tell you why. What's the team that wasn't your favorite? They know it. They'll tell you what that team was like and why it wasn't their favorite. Ask them about that teammate of theirs that inspired them, that always made them play better. They'll tell you all about that person. They'll also tell you about that person that was on a different team, maybe even the same team, that was so negative that they always kind of let the air out of the team. You see, what they're learning here is pretty important. I mean, being on team and being an expert in team is pretty critical. So, I congratulate them all. Let me just pause for a second here, because I realize that I'm going on here in monologue, and I just want to thank you, because this is the worst for me, standing up in front of people talking. I'm much happier in dialogue, so I appreciate your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce, if I may, these extraordinary young triple impact competitors to you. Tina's going to faint over there. She thinks I'm actually going to say their names again. I'm going to introduce them to you not by name, but by deed. I have this Latin phrase that's over my door when you come see me. It says to be known. It translates to be known by your deeds. This collection of athletes, they're grateful for everything, and they're entitled to nothing. I know that because I have passed that 10 years and 10,000 hours thing a while ago, and I am an expert in team, and I've looked in their eyes and I watched them come up here, and I can tell you that that's the mindset of my team. Grateful for everything and entitled to nothing. And I saw it in their eyes. I know that anytime somebody does something for them in sport, they're appreciative. And I know that they don't think they're owed anything. They don't think they're owed a break from the referee or the opposition's worst day out or the fact that the wind's at their back, one of those halves. They'll play into the wind, both halves. They believe in selflessness. On my team, we say, team first, self last. It's not just a saying to us, and I don't think it's a saying to them, not to triple impact competitors. It's more than a cute little saying. It's how we think about everything. Every time we think about ourselves in context of the team, we expect the first lens to come down is what's best for the team. They believe in constant performance improvement as a value. That means that they want to get better. And they know that there's two kinds of individuals, and two types of teams in this world, and those teams that are getting better and teams that are getting worse, and they prefer to get better. They prefer to get better at the sport. Whatever happens by way of result outcomes happens, but they like to get better. And on that same car ride home, if you ask them, what does it feel like getting better? They'll tell you. They'll say it's the best feeling in the world. Knowing today that I'm better than I was yesterday, knowing this year, my senior year, I'm going to be better than I was my junior year, it's the best feeling you'll ever have. It's like a warm blanket. They believe in merit. They know that it's the currency which high-performance teams trade. See, it's not about your seniority on the team. It's not about your personality and how gifted you are at weaving your tails. It's about what you get done. It's about how good of a teammate you are. It's about how accountable you are. It's the currency that high-performance teams trade among themselves. A meritocracy. How great is that? How great is it to be on something, involved in something, where it doesn't matter where you're from, what color your skin is, how much money your daddy has or doesn't have. It's only about you and your merit in that team. They believe in toughness. Now, there's probably, I saw that one big boy from De La Salle. He probably believes in overwhelming force. Getting off the ball there, Spartans. But that's not the kind of toughness I'm referring to. I'm talking about mental toughness, resiliency. The people in this room understand that it's like that best fortune cookie you've ever had, that one that says, get knocked down 9 times, get up 10. That kind of resiliency, that kind of toughness. They believe in leadership. They understand that leadership is not something that you're born with. It's something that you work to become good at. It's a skill. It's an ability. The definition that we use on my team is leadership is the ability to make those around you better and more productive. Full stop. Full stop. You don't have to be the captain to do it. You don't have to be a senior to do it. It's accessible to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in congratulating the 2010 Triple Impact competitors? Just in closing, I'd just like to take a second, just on behalf of all the collegiate coaches, to thank the PCA for really their outstanding work. I mean, what about the PCA? What about Deloitte? What about the people that are on this job? What an unbelievably fantastic task and mission they have. You know, I mean, this is stuff that is changing sport in America, and it is helping to mold lives. And I mean, every time I'm around the PCA, I just can't believe, you know, how impressive their people are, and how clear and precise their mission is, and how powerful it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've been very kind to me here, and thank you very much.